Hey everybody, Horseman here, and today I'm going to talk about the Sharpshooter. I know that I had said that I was going to wait a little while to get the Sharpshooter done, but to be honest, with the new updates and that's been going on, it's been pretty nice and I don't want to say easy, but it's been fun to get things started. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Sharpshooter and talk about the abilities, just like I did with all the other classes. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to get into what type of resource it uses. I know I did briefly discuss it with my very first, actual longer stream, and you saw almost 3 hours worth of me playing as the Sharpshooter. But now that I am level 27, I have a whole bunch of abilities. I would like to be able to share that, so that way you can see how the character itself performs, see all the different abilities. And believe me, I'm kind of glad I did this because I got a chance to see some abilities that I didn't see before, and being able to see them, I have changed my mind on certain things. So I definitely wish I had gone a different path. It probably would have made things a lot easier. So, alright. The cool thing you see here is that my armor is nice and flashy. So this is a full set of the Musketeers. Show you that real quick. The Musketeer. Took me a little while to get it all, but finally did get it through various drops, gambling, and whatnot. And I also started working on the Hyvid set, which is I got 3 of the pieces here: pants, chest, and head there. So that was good times. I made a few improvements to my fort. I got this Hyvid's Bane. Looks like a corpse flower, all maxed out. It gives me a plus 5% of defense. Considering how much work that goes into getting it to max level, I'm really surprised that this is only 5%. And the same goes with this 5% fire, and then this will be that gold luck once I get that all maxed out. So anyway, the whole purpose of this video is to talk about the different abilities. The Sharpshooter is going to use a resource called ammo, and as you use abilities, they cost ammo, such as Tight Grouping uses 4 ammo, Scattershot uses 5 ammo, and so forth. And there's only 2 ways to get the ammo back. Is one, waiting, which luckily doesn't take that long. I mean, you can see me using it here, and I am using more than what's regenerating, but if I wait just a little bit, you can see it regenerating as it goes, and that's pretty nice. So what this orb here in the middle is just to show you what pet that you have out. So in this case, I have goblins. So my goblins are going to come out, and that's going to be there. If I have a cloud of rats, you're going to see a little rat symbol. If you see, if I have my wolf out, you're going to see a little wolf symbol out there, and you'll see it as I describe each of the abilities. All right. So let's go ahead and go with the different branches, which is going to be Precision and Adventurer. I will also talk about the Relic because there have been some changes made to the Relic that I would like to discuss. Drag and drop these down in here to give you an idea as to what it is they do. Oh, other than waiting for your ammo, you can use this ability, Reload. All right. Go back to my spot. Alright, so your Tight Grouping is going to be probably the ability that you're going to be equipping as your main ability besides a basic attack. I mean, yes, out there are some bonuses that you can use if you just use basic attack, but let's face it, no matter how many bonuses you have, they're typically not that great and not enough to make up for the type of damage and other benefits there are to having an ability there. And I'm not using as much ammo for this ability to make it so it's an impossibility to use. So Tight Grouping, fire 3 closely grouped arrows dealing 270 weapon damage to all targets in the arc, and it every time you dump a point in there, you're going to be seeing more damage. What's up, Joey's? Doing well. And yeah, they make it pretty easy to sub in and out skills. I can also click on the ability and do it like this as well. So they make it pretty easy. Thank God. The tier 2 bonus, negative 20% to relic active skill cooldowns, and then the tier bonus 3, tight grouping, now fires a second burst every third volley, which is nice. I have been using... My bad. I have been using this ability as my main attack for quite some time because it does some relative piercing, and it does take out mobs in a pretty a nice area of effect. So just have to wait for... The only downside is I do have to wait for my ammo to regenerate because I'm not going to be using a basic attack or anything like, and my normal build doesn't have reload. So, but it's honestly not that big of a deal. By the time that I use my abilities that don't require any type of ammo, that's already full again. So it is a lot. It used to be a lot quicker, and I noticed that has been nerfed a bit. That regeneration takes a bit longer than it did prior to the patch this last June 30th. Alright, next ability is going to be Onslaught. This is a fun one. If you're a fan of the Demon Hunter from Diablo 3 and Rain of Arrows, then you'll like this one, because that's exactly what it is. The Rain of Arrows. And it does it for a nice long period of time. I like it. I do like this ability. But honestly, after using a different ability called Scattershot, I found that this one quickly became obsolete. Onslaught duration will go on longer, and that's all fine and good if the thing that you're trying to kill stays put. Tier 1 bonus, 50% duration for Onslaught. Again, you already got bonuses going to that duration. Why is a Tier 1 bonus more duration? Typically, monsters are going to be dead before this thing even runs out, and to me, that's a waste. On bosses aren't stationary, so what's the point? Tier 2 bonus, 20% relic active skill damage, great. Tier 3 bonus, Onslaught's Rain of Arrows now include explosive arrows that detonate in a small area for 75% damage. Now that is a good Tier 3 bonus. That is worth dumping all the points into it because of that right there. Includes explosive arrows that detonate in a small area of effect. Woo! That sounds like it would be a lot of fun. Next one up is going to be Targeted Strikes. Fire 3 piercing shots, each dealing 121% weapon damage. Sounds a lot like Tight Grouping. But the description can be a bit misleading. They say tight grouping, they're like pop, pop, pop instead of 3 all at the same time. So, anyway, targeted strikes damage goes up with every point that you dump into it. Tier 1 bonus, each successive hit in a volley now deals 25% more damage. Tier 2, ammo recharge rate goes up, so this is going to be a global a bonus. Every third targeted strike fires larger arrows that deal double the damage. So again, another tier 3 bonus that sounds pretty darn good if you ask me. Okay, reload. Restore all your ammo and reset the cooldowns for all of your adventurer skills. Now again, we're not talking about precision skills. That's what these ones are going to be. These are this is in regards to your adventurer abilities, which is nice for things like Loyal Shasta, Goblin Legion, and even Sacrifice to Goose, because those have some they're great abilities and they have some pretty decent cooldowns. So it's nice that if you need to, in a tight spot, get all your ammo back and restore those abilities, you can do so. So let's go ahead and check that out, see how that works. Alright, so I used it, and you can see that my whole bar came right on back. So that makes it nice. Again, and that's if you're really running into sticky situations. I have yet to be in a position where I absolutely had to have reload in my inventory here, my arsenal. And I'm not saying it's a bad ability. I'm just saying that I don't find a lot of use because I have a decent enough balance of ammo using and non-ammo using abilities to where ammo is never an actual issue. Matter of fact, The only main issue that I have is sometimes cooldowns, which would be the only reason why I would want to use reload. Okay. Explosive Arrow is one of those abilities that I actually complained a lot about during the alpha and the beta because it was an extremely slow lob ability, like so. As you can, and with monsters and bosses moving around quite a bit, I mean, you had to really think about where you're going to put that arrow. You had to lead it a little bit. And that was all fine and good. That was an easy issue to overcome. But the problem was that it didn't do very much damage. So it does initial damage on the explosion in an area of effect, and then it applies a burn damage, which is going to give you a fire damage over time. So each point that you dump into it will increase the damage, which is great because the detonation itself is going to impact that 300% weapon damage. I'm so happy that they have increased the damage for this because now it's an actual viable ability. Explosive Arrow makes enemies burn for 50% weapon damage for 3 seconds. Again, having a damage over time is always nice, especially because, I mean, you already got bleeds, you already got poisons, you got all these other things that fire damage helps quite a bit. Especially when you're running around like a madman trying to get away from enemy abilities. Tier 2 bonus, 5% chance for precision skills to stun for 1 second. So this is nice. This is another one of those global type of bonuses that is going to apply to all of your precision skills, where when you use them, you have a chance to stun the enemy. Now, because it's a CC, crowd control, there's a really good chance that it does not affect champions, uniques, elites, or bosses. I have yet to successfully crowd control any of those types. Using the tier 3 bonus, using Explosive Arrow makes your next 3 ranged basic attacks explode for 50% weapon damage. Again, that's a pretty nice bonus there, but it only applies to basic attacks. And if you've gotten to the point where you're even using this ability, because it's a level 15 ability, then chances are you're not using basic attacks anymore unless you have some other buffs to basic attack that really makes it worth it over using something like tight grouping. All right. The last one on this bar so far, I still have one more, the level 21, is Heartseeker. Now this is one of my more favorite abilities, only because I like the way that it pierces, and the amount of initial damage that it actually does. And that's what I like about it the most. The actual piercing and the AoE that it does is very tight. I know that when I was talking yesterday that there was something I didn't like because of how tight it was, but that was also because the damage that it was doing was also not that great. Well, in this case, it's doing a good amount of damage. It causes them bleeding, and it also it's a little bit wider of an AoE, so you're taking out more baddies. The Heartseeker bleed damage is 20% extra for every point you dump into it. Tier 1 bonus, Heartseeker ammo cost is removed, which is fantastic. You can see my ammo is not going down, so that is beautiful. You just have to wait for that cooldown. Tier 2 bonus, 5% chance for precision skills to heal you for 5% of your total health on hit. Getting some of that health back is always nice. And Tier 3 bonus, Heatseeker now fires 3 missiles that seek out enemies, dealing Heartseeker's weapon damage. So that sounds amazing. I really like the sound of that one too. Fires 3 additional missiles that seek out enemies, or no, it just becomes 3 missiles that seek out enemies. That reminds me of the ability that the Ember Mage had in Torchlight 2. You use it and it just sought out your enemies and wrecked their faces. So, I might have to dump some points and get that going. Alright, so the last ability that we have here for the precision skills is one of my more favorite ones as well. It's called Scattershot. I do have this as part of my build. It is like a shotgun blast. You can sit and charge it and then do that, let go, and it can do up to 1... Oh, I guess it changed. Shoot, last time I looked at it, it did over 1,000% damage. Okay, So each dealing 319% weapon damage, holding it down increases the damage of up to 957% damage. Yes, and then the more points you dump into it, the more damage it's gonna do. And the tier 1 bonus makes it gives you more range, 50% damage for ranged basic attacks. Yay! And tier 3 bonus, scatter shots fully charged bonus is increased by 50%. So that means you're gonna put another 475% on top of that 957, and it's gonna be amazing. So again, another great tier 3 bonus. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the adventurer skills. These skills are a lot of fun. These skills, besides the movement skill, are mostly things that involve summoning some type of pet. But there are also some abilities in here that don't make any sense, and I'll talk about them when I get to them. The first one, I used to take this one quite a bit, but now that I have taken Goblin Legion, my opinion of Scout's Bones has changed dramatically. In this case, we're going to be summoning an ancient rat spirits that swarm and move, slowly piercing targets for 144% damage. And it also applies a poison. Scout's Bones damage goes up. More points you put into it. Scout's Bones now give an extra stack of its precision skill buff. Cool. Which is that poison. And the tier 2 bonus, critical chance for precision skills. So all your precision skills are going to get that critical chance, a hit chance increase. And the tier 3 now fires 3 balls of rats, which would be actually pretty good. But this is what it looks like. If you're a fan of Diablo 3, this looks very familiar. We've seen a couple of enemies that have abilities that look like that. Well, now you get one for yourself. Alright. One of my more favorite adventure abilities is now Goblin Legion. I didn't think it was going to be this great, but especially considering they had that rat and they had the Shasta, but this one definitely takes the cake. Goblin Legion, summon 2 ghostly goblins enslaved to a ring you acquired, who deal 33% weapon damage with a lifespan of 32 seconds. They have an adventurer bonus. Your next 3 precision skills will summon an additional goblin. So if you are So let's test that out. Let me get a precision skill real quick on here, and we'll test that out so I can show you. So summon them. Wrong button. I guess I have to kill something. What? Next 3 precision skills will summon an additional goblin. Where's my goblins? Maybe I have to kill something. I have seen it because I have noticed that these things will summon more, unless it was overridden by the goose that I accidentally just did. So let's try that again here in a second. Alright. Alright, so yeah, I guess I have to kill something. Anyway, I have definitely seen more of these bad guys coming to help me, and I like having them. They last for a while, and they do a good job killing things, so I'll probably keep them around for a while. Alright, the bonuses. You're going to be increasing the damage for every point. 12-second increased lifespans for goblins, which is great. They get more pet damage later on, and it also applies to all pets. So if you have the wolf as well, you're looking at the wolf also benefiting from that. And I do believe it also applies to Scout's Bones. Tier 3 bonus, Goblin Legion now summons a Ghostly Goblin Brute who deals 75% of your weapon damage. That is definitely something that I'm going to be looking forward to as I progress through the game. Okay, this is going to be our movement skill, our Ghost Visage. It's much like, it's like Blink, right? But it has the same kind of animation, in my opinion, kind of like the Necromancer's Blood Walk or something. I'm terrible with names, so forgive me. But regardless, though, pop into a portal, come out the other side. Oh, they changed how it looks. Okay, so prior to the patch on Tuesday, you summoned a purple portal, you jump through it and then you come out on the other side. But now it looks like we can just zap there. So, all right, that has changed. All right, the adventurer bonus will give our next 3 precision skills critical hit chance 50%, which is great. Wow, that's pretty substantial. And the more points you put in there, increase the critical hit chance after using Ghost Visage even more. Gains an additional charge for the tier 1 bonus. The tier 2 bonus, 25% chance to become intangible after using potions for 3 seconds, which is nice. It's still only a chance, but it is nice, especially for kind of oh shit situations. Trigger Ghost Visage leaves behind a specter at your starting location that taunts enemies for 2 seconds, which is kind of like a simulacrum. So that's nice, or a decoy. Cool. It's a nice ability. Now, one of the abilities that doesn't make any sense to me is Rizzy's Fate. Summon a field of hungry demon spirits, collectively known as the Rizzy. Now, the reason why I say it doesn't make any sense because from a lore standpoint, this character is just a bow or gun wielding adventurer, but apparently it has ties with the underworld. Now, I guess in some ways these adventure abilities, you're summoning ghostly goblins, a ghostly wolf, a weird ball of rats, so maybe it makes sense from a lore standpoint. I don't know. 50% duration for Rizzy's Fate, 10% damage to blinded, slowed, or stunned enemies, and the third, a ghostly Netherrealm caster appears in Rizzy's Fate spell area, attacking enemies for 50% weapon damage. So that's nice. It's kind of acts as a pet at that point in time too. Does a little bit of extra damage on top of what it's doing already. So this is what it looks like with the 10-second cooldown. That looks awfully familiar, doesn't it? I don't know, like a witch doctor ability? All right. Another great ability that I like to use is Sacrifice to Goose. You already seen me use it once by accident. Call down a spirit of a great eagle you call Goose, who deals 44% weapon damage, knocks back enemies, and applies a 30% damage vulnerability to them for 6 seconds. So it debuffs, knocks them back, and does damage. Sweet. And then your next 3 precision skills will fire 3 ghostly eagle missiles on activation, dealing 40% damage on hit. So you're going to use your ability, and then you're going to see that kind of like a larger 3 shots go out at the same time. It'll do more damage the more points you put into it. 20% damage vulnerability for Sacrifice to Goose. Tier 2, negative 10% for Sharpshooter skill cooldowns. Yay! And a tier 3 bonus is Sacrifice to Goose Adventure bonus, fires 2 additional eagles. Nice. So just to give you an idea what that looks like, let's do this again. Bam. And then, see that? You got 3 birds that fly out too. 4. Alright, so it lied to me. It wasn't 3, it was 4. Hey, I'll take it. Okay. And this Curse of Pee-Pee. Besides having a terrible name, I haven't really seen what this looks like yet, so we're about to. Conjure forth the watchful presence of insanity-inducing God Pee-Pee, poor bastard, inflicting 66% of damage and reducing their damage by 25%. So it will inflicting. Okay, so it's going to do damage and reduce their damage output by 25% for 6 seconds. So that's nice. Your next 3 precision skills will also apply this curse. Sweet. Stacking it up to 2 times. That's it. So yeah, I guess you could just do it 2 more times, no problem. And make them do a whole lot less damage while doing damage to them. The damage itself goes up by a certain percentage for every point you dump into it. And the tier 1 bonus, killing a cursed enemy now returns 10% ammo. Tier 2, chance to return ammo on kill for precision skills. Yay! And tier 3, Curse of Pee-Pee pulses an additional 2 times after its initial activation. So let's check it out together. And that's it. Cool. Alright, so that is all the skills for precision and for... Nope, I'm missing one. My bad. This one, and it's funny too, because I really do like this one, by the way. This is Loyal Shasta. I do like it. Having this puppy with me, you summon the spirit of your best friend Shasta, who deals 81% weapon damage, gaining up to 5 stacks on a 10% damage buff whenever you are struck by enemies. Additionally, Shasta taunts enemies every 8 seconds, so as a sharpshooter being ranged, it's very nice to be able to have something taking away that aggro from you. As you dump points into it, that damage will go up. The tier 1 bonus, 12 seconds increase summon duration for Shasta, which is great. 50% increased damage to taunted enemies, even better. And Shasta now has a burning area around her, dealing 50% weapon damage, so yay! More damage over time. And this is what she looks like. And she will go attack enemies autonomously, so you don't have to guide her, you don't have to tell her what to do, which is even better. And she keeps enemies away from you. And when she's done, she takes a rest until she's ready to be summoned again, which isn't that long of a cooldown, and it goes by quickly. Trust me, when you're fighting and you use all your other abilities, getting her back out on the field feels like it's no time at all. So she is a great addition. However, I have favored the Goblin Legion over Shasta simply due to the numbers and their ability to take enemies down fairly quickly. Alright, so that is all the abilities in Precision and Adventure skill trees. Lastly, the Electrode. There was some changes to this. In its activation, hasn't changed too much. It still sends out electric bolts in an AoE around you outward, and that's fine and good. That still stays the same, but it's this ability right here, Localized Storm. It used to be lightning would strike at the ground in a cone in front of you, just like bam, 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 bam. And that was kind of nice, but now it's basically you apply a buff to yourself, and every second or so, lightning will strike the nearest enemy, doing a 540% weapon damage. And it's not bad, especially considering the cooldown is pretty quick. But I've noticed that I've fumbled on its activation several times, meaning that I push the button, nothing happens, and I push the button, nothing happens. So I don't know if it's just quirky, buggy, or what the deal is, but because you don't really see it activate, and even when it's hitting something, it was kind of like, okay, you don't hear it, you don't feel it. I mean, I'm kind of hoping to hear the sizzle and the popping of your enemies getting zapped, but I mean, maybe you can, and I just couldn't hear it. I don't know, just because of the being in the middle of a fight. But either way, I do like it. I just it didn't feel as active as it did previously, and I kind of miss it. You also got Lightning Strike. When you hit a shocked enemy, call down a Lightning Strike on them, dealing 100% weapon damage, which is nice, and you can buff the chance as well as its stunning capability. Violent Burst. You have 42% chance to unleash shock bolts on kill that deal 131%. This is on all the time. It's not just after you've activated the relic skill or anything like that. It is always there. So, and I've felt that this is pretty appropriate for the sharpshooter. All right, this is what the relic looks like. Oops, let me do one thing real quick while I'm here. Pop this down. Let me get my build back. How's that sound? What did I have here? I think this is what I have. Okay. So alright. That's using the actual ability or the actual relic, and then the active skill made no noise. And then it just puts that buff around you, and as you get close to enemies, it zaps them. Alright. So let's go ahead and go see what this what the sharpshooter's all about in action. Oh, and what you see here, This is part of my musketeer set. So where is it? All right here. Activate your relic skill. Summon the ancient spirit of a famed archer, Herman, who casts type grouping. And then with a set, you summon a second Herman spirit. So now you get 2 more pets doing extra damage, and that is always nice. And each piece gives an extra set bonus. So I really like the way they did these, by the way. All right. Cool. All right. Let's go kill some stuff. We're going to go ahead and do a map. Fire. I want to do electricity again. So the electricity, fire, and poison are basically the same 3 in terms of what you're going to be fighting, since this is all we have right now. Fire's goblins. We got electricity, which is going to be the automatons. And then the poison is going to be the hybrids. And it's going to be those types of maps, respectively. So I know that they're still working on the mapping. It was just reintroduced into the game with the June 30th update. So as the game progresses, I'm sure we're going to see some better improvements. All right. And it looks like it wants to prove me wrong. Well, I mean, to be fair, this is the first legendary one that I've done. Because this is a new map. I can't break this. I have not seen this map before. Dang, it felt like it took forever to break. Alright, come on, guys. I will say that post the update, the Sharpshooter still feels good. I don't have a whole lot of complaints. It was very different when I first started, after having played her before the patch, because I was used to how quickly my ammo had regenerated. And since it didn't regenerate quite as quickly, it took me a while to kind of figure out the timing and the pacing that I should be following when playing this character. But overall, though, it wasn't that big of a learning curve, so I was able to get back into it pretty quickly. I mean, there are times where she still feels a little clunky, but I mean, it's not.
You're close to dying.
Thank you. Drop me stuff? No? You're not gonna drop me anything. Not even fame. Thank you. I have noticed that has been a bug. Certain champions and elites have not been dropping loot, and I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's been making me grumpy. I mean, at least drop me gold and fame. I mean, I don't even care if you drop, items, but not having at least fame kind of sucks. And you can see those guys as Hermans just firing away. Acting up a little bit. Nope, I'm fired.
You have gained a level.
Gained a level. Since I have gained a level, I can go ahead and start dumping things into the point. There we go. I have a few receptacles too, so I can go back and start dumping points into abilities that I like. Looking forward to that. see. Am I gonna actually get some loot from this? No. Strangely, I leveled up. Oh. What do I get? Oh no! Oh, okay. Whew. Alright, more musketeer pantaloons. Let's see, are these any better? Defense is much higher. Critical chance is a little bit better. Better gold luck, so I should see overall increases. Outstanding! So you also get to see what legendaries look like on the ground. Little red God Ray. Can't miss him. See that scatter shot does tear through baddies. And I love it. Where is it? You are. Notice that scatter shot likes to shoot when I'm trying to hold down the button sometimes. Like I'm still holding down the button and it'll shoot. I don't know if it's my mouse or what. I mean, my mouse is pretty abused, so could be it. Pretty good sized map. And I like it. Yeah. One thing I've noticed is that I know that legendary weapons exist. I've gotten a lot of swords and hammers, but I have yet to get a rifle or a bow. I've seen people with them on, but I have yet to get one. And I've gotten quite a few legendaries.
You've gained a level.
Once again, maps. Great source of experience and loot. Okay? I cannot stress that enough. I mean, I've already gained, what, 2 levels? 1 level? No. Yeah, 2 levels. Yeah, that's right, I did use a point in something, right? Or was that a relic level? I don't even know. Alright, it is boss time. What I like about these maps is that they are also fairly short. You don't have to sit here and get a huge chunk of time to get them done, because once you can't come back if you leave. If you die, you can still finish it, but you can't leave. Like even in Diablo 3, you could leave and come back in the portal. That's not the case with this. the scatter shot does take a pretty hefty chunk, and you can also tell that I am not running out of ammo. Always have an ability to use. I think that's important. Give me something good. A good weapon. Come on. I deserve it. Meh, I already have one. No, no good weapon.
Your inventory is full.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. It's a green. The damage is much higher. Okay. Anything else? Anything? No? Alright. Alright, and that's it in a nutshell. That is the Sharpshooter. So, I really do hope that you learned something from this, especially since, the patches come down and change things up a bit. I know that as things progress, things are going to change further. And I will be there to help kind of report them as I go. I'll be playing various different characters along the way. I'm going to try to get them all to Act 3 over the course of the next month or so. I just play a little bit here and there. I do play a variety of other games, but hopefully that'll be in time for the next big patch, and we'll see some even more improvements, and I look forward to seeing them. But in the meantime, it looks like I have a contract that I can get. Oh, I get a Siamese kitty. Cute. Send it home. And hopefully, even by then, you should see a lot more decorations in my fort. I like the way my fort is coming along. It's pretty. But like I said, hope you liked this video. If you did, please throw it a like and come back for more, as I do share more early access of Torchlight 3 leading up to the launch of the title. And I love ARPGs, love this game so far, but I do also recognize it still needs some work. So with that being said, that's all for now, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Horseman out.